So today we are going to talk about counterfeits, okay? And we all know that a counterfeit is something that poses as an original or an authentic. And there are certain traits that you will see or certain characteristics that you see in the original or the authentic that you will not see in the counterfeit. And before you can identify that something is even a counterfeit, you should have been aware of those things, those little things that are in the original that do not appear the same in the counterfeit, okay? And so today, the reason why we are even talking about counterfeits is because of the fact that a lot of people pose themselves as wolves in sheep clothing. They look like all the sheep around, but then we know for sure that they are not good and the person is not suitable for you. You'll be able to identify it before it's too late, okay? Alright, so now we are going to talk about two different types of counterfeits. Okay, so I have just crafted the names based on my personal experience as well as observation from other people's relationships. So the first we're going to discuss is the ultimate counterfeit. Now, just as the name presents, an ultimate counterfeit is somebody that looks like your God ordained spouse. The person's traits, characteristics, even the initials of the person's name like match your God ordained spouse, okay? And so there are similarities in the nature of the person or the stature, okay? So maybe he's a tall, 5'8" man or something. And probably your God ordained spouse is also the same height, the way his mannerisms and everything resembles your God ordained spouse. You only get to know when you meet your God ordained spouse that person was an ultimate counterfeit most of the time. All right. Now, another trait that the ultimate counterfeit also has is that the person can understand and relate to you in your past, like to your past in a certain way. Okay, so maybe there are certain things that the person has been through. Like the person was bullied, you were also bullied in your childhood, or maybe you were verbally abused by a parent. The person was also rejected by their parents or something. So there's a shared trauma you guys have. So you end up actually in a trauma bond with this counterfeit more than a real relationship, because it's more like we understand each other. That's the reason why we are coming together. And so that is one other trait of the ultimate counterfeit. The person has come to show you points or parts in your life that you need to work on. So maybe this counterfeit, for example, you are somebody who has a low self-esteem, low self-worth. You don't think that you are good enough. You don't even think you're lovable, perhaps because your parents have told you from time immemorial that you are not lovable and you are just occupying space or something. This person who comes into your life would probably remind you of your parents and what your parents have said. He will make you feel less than. He will make you feel like you are not lovable enough, you're difficult to love or something like that. The person will remind you of your trauma. That is how you even know that you are with a counterfeit like that. Okay, so this person has come to tell you that this broken part of you needs to be dealt with as soon as possible. You need to get rid of your lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth, and lack of self-love. And I have a lot of videos on self-love, right? And we all know that ultimately your self-worth and your self-esteem comes from God. Your self-identity comes from God. If God has said you're beautiful, why do you think you're ugly? If He created you wonderfully, why do you think that you don't look, appealing? Why? Why do you reduce yourself to something that other people who did not create you say? You understand? So that counterfeit, the way the person behaves, the area in which he is toxic shows you the area in which you are supposed to work on yourself. All right. And so the person may be spiritually inclined and may even be a worshiper of God. So the fact that somebody attends church does not mean that the person is a Christian. The fact that somebody reads the Bible or prays 24/7 doesn't mean that the person is spiritual. So don't get it twisted, okay? Just because he's in church, just because he's a tongue-speaking Christian, just because he's active in, the prayer group or something, doesn't mean that he's good for you. There are people who are very toxic, and one of the things that will help you to know the difference between your God-ordained spouse and the counterfeit, the ultimate counterfeit, or any counterfeit at all, is the presence of toxicity. If the person is toxic, he's not good for you. you shouldn't be with somebody like that. So that's something you should watch out for. The person is seemingly caring and concerned about you. The fact that the person is a counterfeit may not necessarily mean that the person will not buy you gifts or shower you with, certain things like love or, words of affirmation or whatever your love language is. The person may pretend for some time. And even if the person is not pretending and you can see that the person is abusive, because of the fact that you are used to some form of abuse, you are comfortable. And so you don't even see that there's something wrong with how the person is treating you. All right. So when you are able to identify that you're being abused, or something is wrong, or you're not comfortable in the relationship, or you're not happy, and despite the fact that you have been unhappy for the rest, like for your past life, because you've been abused and you're used to it, you are still in the abuse, but you just wish for fulfillment. That is the point where your eyes will open to see that you are with somebody you're not supposed to be with. Okay. So the person would care about you, buy you gifts on your birthday. They will do a lot of things that your God ordained spouse could do for you. But they may probably, after doing that, demand something from you. Or even if they don't demand something from you, they'll make you feel like you force them to even do it in the first place. So it's more like it's not really even from their hearts, but it could still be nice, and pretend that they care about you. They may desire your progress, or they may desire you to progress. They may desire that you move on in life and all of that. That is something your God ordained spouse would want for you as well. You understand? The person would want you to be happy, to start a career, to be fulfilled in your career, and all of that. But the counterfeit may, to an extent, is not every counterfeit that is like that. It depends on the human being and how the person is able to deal with jealousy or envy, right? So this counterfeit, right? This counterfeit may desire you to progress to an extent, or he may be jealous of your progress. If somebody is jealous of your progress, that's a first indicator that you don't need to be with that person. You need somebody that is willing to allow you to grow, even if you would grow even farther than he would. You understand? Somebody who's willing to celebrate your achievements with you. Somebody who's not jealous of your success. That's the kind of person that you want to be around with. So most of the time, the ultimate counterfeit may give himself away because of his jealousy. But some are not really jealous of your success. They actually want you to grow. It's just their nature. Some people are actually nice. Just that they are counterfeits because they are toxic, right? So they may have differing views or different perspectives to life. You people are not able to agree on one thing. There's always something that brings conflict between the two of you. You are always fighting. It doesn't even make sense. How do you live cordially with such a person? You can't even agree on one thing and be like comfortable for even a day. Something has to go wrong. If it's like that and it's a constant cycle, please walk out of that relationship. You are not with your ideal partner, right? So you should be able to express yourself. You should be able to be who you are with this person. And if you are not able to be who you are with this person, maybe the person looks down on you, the person talks to you as if you're not a human being or whatever, that is something that should help you to identify that the person you're with is not right for you. One of the things that a lot of people don't even understand or realize is that the counterfeit will still go down on his knees and propose to you. The fact that he's a counterfeit doesn't mean that he will not marry you. He will marry you. So that is the reason why the goal is not necessarily marriage when you're going into a relationship, but it's about thriving after the marriage. Is this somebody that is going to take care of you mentally, physiologically, spiritually, going to cover you? Is the person going to walk with you throughout? Can you trust your life with this person? You understand? So that is why it's not just about, he said he will marry you, so you're happy. No. Are you going to be happy in the marriage? Is the marriage going to even stand? Because you can get married and divorce the next day. Yes. So is it going to stand? Is it going to fulfill what God has said, that a man should love his wife just as Christ loved the church? Is that what you're going to experience in the marriage? If not, is it somebody that you can, submit to? If not, please, you know that is not the right marriage for you. So he will go down on his knees and also propose. So don't think that the counterfeit will always leave you and run away. No, some of them actually go ahead and marry you. He will probably come into your life as a solution for a moment, or a solution bearer for a moment, or help you to meet somebody who will give you, a solution to a problem you're encountering. For example, there was this girl that when she was younger, she was traumatized by something that her mom did. So, what was it called? What her mom did was more of something that she really struggled to forgive, her mom for over 10 years, over a decade, right? The girl was bitter because of the pain her mom caused her. Her mom caused her so much destruction and pain that the girl lost herself, okay? And the counterfeit that came into her life when she was about 18 years old introduced her to his mom, okay? So he was a guy who liked her, and he introduced her to his mom. And his mom spoke to this girl, and through the conversation, they found out that they had similar childhoods. The counterfeit's mom also was rejected by like the counterfeit's mom's mom. Okay, so the counterfeit's mom also rejected her, and then what was it called? They were able to talk, and they found out that they had the same past and experiences. And the counterfeit's mom prayed for this girl who was in so much pain from what this girl's mom did to her. And from there, she was delivered from the bitterness and unforgiveness, because the girl, was struggling to forgive for so many years and couldn't. So the counterfeit's presence in her life and introducing the girl to the counterfeit's mom saved the girl from unforgiveness. So that's just an example. So sometimes they are just supposed to come into your life just to show you certain things about you that you have to work on, and then they have to just go. So there's a benefit to actually having the counterfeit around. You don't necessarily have to engage in a relationship with the person, but when they come and you are spotting the person or looking at the person, assessing the person to see if they are authentic or they are counterfeit, within that process of doing that, the examination period, you will realize that there are certain things that the person was supposed to do in your life and then go. You understand? Not everybody has to stay in your life. Yes. So that's the first type of counterfeit I want us to know about.